Hi there, this is Buddy, Midland, Texas. Here I'm at my home, 3802 Fair Circle, the home of 10,000 felonies. And I've got an interesting story for you today concerning the underground facilities and the multiple murders suspected being connected with that, along with the capital attempted murder of my life, multiple burglaries to this home, the theft that's going on, and all the other crimes, because there's many more other homes that are rigged. One thing I want to focus on today is I've got a woman recorded saying there's 4 3-bedroom homes, 25 foot deep, each costing over $1 million apiece, and multiple other people saying there's underground facilities. Well, underground facilities is going to require electricity, gas, water, services, right? And really, when I say theft here, what the people that break my house don't steal TVs or that kind of stuff. What they steal is services, and theft of services is a felony. And so they're stealing, they're breaking apart my HVAC system, stealing heating, cooling. It makes my heater run all the time, so it costs me gas. I'm having to pay the gas bill, or I'm having to pay the electric bill for the air conditioner running, and they're just wasting it. They're just pumping it up there in the attic because that's where they're at, and they're stealing. So they're stealing services from me. But the underground facilities would also require that, right? They would need that. So here's the story. What I'm telling you. Right when I first moved here, I was I've looked at this house October 1st, 2008, and made an offer. Sarah and Michael Hahn counter offered. It was too much. I walked away from the deal. And then a couple weeks later, on October 12th, 2008, Mike Lawhon dies, 27 years old. And if y'all seen the videos, it's pretty clear that he was murdered, And at the time, though, I was told it was an accident. And so then my realtor comes back to me, and Sarah will drop the price if you'll agree to buy the home. And the price was being dropped $35,000, only paid $130,000. I mean, it's incredible. I thought it was my good fortune at the time, and it's truly the nightmare that won't stop. And so I agreed to buy the home, and so we had to do, it was a cash sale, but we still had to do inspections. So they did an inspection as, we got a leak on the gas pipe. We got to replace the gas pipe. Well, I have no reason to question that. You got to do it. You got to do it. And so the seller and the buyer split the cost. It cost me over $1,000, over $1,500 or something. And I'm sure it cost her that too. And so we replaced the line. Contractor come out and replaced the line all the way from the meter out to the home. Okay, dug a ditch. He said, I remember him out here digging that. Well, okay. Well, then all the crimes happened. And really, I think it's important. Mike Lawhon died the week before the 2008 oil show, started, and I think that's important, because it's believed the underground facilities connected to the parties that were going on, or the prostitution parties, and in 2010, that's where I was told a young girl was murdered, and so that was in 2010, and then in 2012, I'm ambushed and shot, in my home. It's looking like it was corrupt police. I just got the police report that was hidden from me for 7 years, and based on the police report and based on the timestamps on the security camera pictures, I got 5 police officers listed as being at or in my home, and they wasn't seen driving up, and they wasn't seen going in the door, and on the security camera before it was disabled, and that was Davis, Dickey, Chatwell, Angel, and Hale. Okay, so we got 5 of them, and Dickey at 11:05 was inside my home. Okay, he was inside my home. My camera wasn't disabled till 11:22. The only people seen showing up was Woodward and Naylor, and neither one of them are on the police report. Remember, I got their names from a private investigator. Okay, so anyways, moving on. We're talking about the gas pipe. I went to Home Depot and I bought 3 short nipples here. Okay, the first one is 1.5 inches. Okay, this one is 1 inch, and then this is a 3/4. Okay, and that's I think most houses you're going to see, or even businesses, you're going to see this 1 inch or 3/4 inch pipe is what's going to go in the house. They replaced this pipe with 1.5 inches. That's what's so amazing about that. Here it is down here, and I don't know if that camera can see right here. I'll get it and move it over here, but you'll see this is 1.5 inch pipe. Let me get this camera. give you a close-up. And so you can see right there where they put just this huge pipe. Well, that's a super large expense, you know. And I mean, that larger pipe is cost a lot more money. And then you know, I mean, I have to ask the question, why was that done? You know, and I think it probably has something to do with the underground facility, and maybe they're taking the gas underground here. And you know, if that's the case, then somebody knows about that, you know, and there's more crimes involved on stealing services. And so I'm gonna show you some more stuff. I'm gonna stop this camera. Okay, and there's the pipe, the natural gas pipe, Atmos Energy. It's going in my home, and they dug a ditch, and I'm going to show you here because we're going to walk this out right here. And all this was dug up. This contractor, and I'm sure I can probably find it. I think I still got the paperwork on that, and you know, it's legality, so it's you know, I'm sure there's records of this. We can find out who did it, who did that inspection and all that. I'm coming out here to the meter, okay? So here's the gas meter, and so I'm going to show you again here. Let's put this up here. And I think, I'm not even sure, that might be 1 1/4 inch right there. And or that might be the same size, 1 1/2 inch. That might be it, that 1 1/2 coming out there. And so, just for fun, like I said, normally you're gonna see either the 3/4 or the 1 inch. And of course, since I'm out here in the alley, and this ain't about that, but you can see over here where this wall separates my home and Home Depot, where they where a row of bricks is missing at the bottom. They poured concrete in there. It goes all the way down. I'll take you down there. You know, they hit the telephone pole when they were digging it out. I suspect this is where the tunnel come through here. You see all that, so that newer concrete at the bottom. And then you see it ends right here on the end, right in the middle of that support column. You'd never, you know, have that. And you know that actually there's a pile of used red bricks in the backyard of this house over here. I asked her where they come from. She said, "Oh, that wall right there." And so I think maybe they come from when that area was dug out right there. That large area, you know, was dug under, and I think maybe they tunneled into there. But anyway, this is about gas pipe. What I want to go down here is go look at the neighbor's meter. And so while we're on our way down here, though, because here in my backyard there, that's where it looks like by Google Maps there's a large underground facility. We'll go back out there here in a minute. And here you'll notice there's a missing tree. That tree wasn't always missing, and it was taken out in 2014, 2015. I think it was part of the cover-up of all the crimes going on here. They took out that live tree right there, and you know, it's been lawlessness is what it's been. There's a coax cable, see it hanging. It's Suddenlink, you know, and I'll come out here and I found out, oh, Suddenlink cable going into the ground. You know, where does it go? Now, Home Depot said it doesn't go to here, and all the homes, they go above ground, so nobody knows where it goes. I suspect it goes also to the underground facility over here, you know, and so more clues and evidence. And so anyway, we're looking at the neighbor's pipe here, okay, and you can kind of get an idea there, and what that meter looks like. I can't go to their house because it's in their yard, but I'd seriously doubt they have a 1.5 inch pipe. Nobody has an 1.5 inch pipe going inside their house, and so something very strange there. And like I said, I think there's probably, my guess is for volume. It's because they were feeding the underground facility, and you know, and they needed that because that's where they, you know, that's where they rape and murder little girls that won't prostitute for them, and you know, and kill the homeowners above, and steal and all the other crimes that go on here. And so they need that extra gas, you know, and somebody, maybe with the gas company's helping them. You know what I'm saying? And so here I'm back to my backyard. Okay, now I'm inside my house, and I want to tell you another story that after I first moved here, this fireplace is here. They're burning wood in there, but it was popped up with gas. They already had the gas pipe there, so Home Depot had some logs, gas logs on sale, so I popped it all up here. But when I went to try to turn it on, there's a valve. I could never get gas to come out. Ever since I put them in, I've never been able to get gas out. And I've been in the attic, of course, many times, and the pipe goes down the wall right here beside it, right beside this wall right there. And but for some mystery reason, I can get gas out of that pipe. And I've wondered if it wasn't cut in that wall and taken underground there, and that was feeding the underground facilities, and for all their crimes. All right, now I'm out here in the backyard looking at the fireplace, and the reason I wanted to show you that is because it's on the left-hand side here is where that gas pipe comes down that wall, and there is enough space. I've measured the firebox, and there's plenty of space for a person to crawl, and up the side there beside the firebox. And I've even wondered if that's, was the hidden entrance into the attic, because you look at the top, look how it's narrow the chimney stack is. It's real wide at the bottom, and so, I wonder, maybe they have a tunnel under here, and they went over there and they went on one side, and they've got, a ladder up there, and that allows them to secretly sneak into my home, and as I said before, rent $2,000 a month, and you're living, free, and it's not, it rain, you don't get wet, and, you breaking across the heater, you're nice and warm and cozy, and, normally attic wouldn't be good if you didn't break apart that central air conditioning system. And so you're just stealing, it's what you're doing. And, and one house, $2,000 a month, 10 houses, $20,000 a month, 100 houses, $200,000 a month. That pays for a lot of secret police, and having just murder homeowner every once in a while that catches you, tries to stop you from stealing from them. And I'll show you one other thing here while I'm out here. Notice that it's cracked right here. See how that's cracked? The concrete. Let's go over here. It's cracked, and I follow that crack out. There we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. All the way up to the corner, right to the corner of that fireplace stack. This is my backyard here, and if you look on the Google Maps, you go to maps.google.com, and it looks like there's a large facility that's in this backyard right there. And recently I had this fence built, and he was digging them holes, and he ran into one that he couldn't his auger couldn't go down and dig, and so he had a rock bar, and he was telling me, he says, it sounded like it was hollow. He's beating on concrete or rock down there, and that's what he told me. But this area is where it looks like. And that shed over there, I got a video where I recorded a digging noise coming from underground that my dog alerted me to. It's right over there next to the two side-by-side manholes, live tree taken out, the Sudden Link cable over there. And then in the backyard of that home, there's a water well, because it's city water here, but there's a water well right there. I even wondered if maybe that water well wasn't feeding the water underground. And so, and then of course, other videos about this whole home being buried in 1.5 foot dirt. See that depression, that's the original level. And, and you can see there where it's buried. So the reason I thought about the gas pipe today and the stories I told you is because I saw this posted on Facebook, and it's a news story from the Midland Police Department, and Atmos Energy was donating $5,000 to the Midland Police Department for purchase a new bulletproof vest. Every time I see somebody donate to the police department, I'm suspicious, especially around here where the police department is ignoring hundreds of proofs of burglaries, theft, capital attempted murder, suspected murder, etc. This guy right here, he's the new chief of police, got me blocked, and I'm sitting here with undeniable, irrefutable evidence of capital crimes and just an unbelievable crime and corruption. And and it's not my assessment, not my word. It's hard facts and evidence. And so when I saw that, I'm like, why would Atmos Energy be giving money to the Midland Police Department, you know? And then I'm thinking, do they give it to every city or just Midland? You know, that's a good question, right? And then I thought, I wonder who did that inspection when I bought this home. I wonder if it was Atmos that inspected the gas pipe, and they know that you know, that pipe was replaced with that you know, 1.5 Mongabe huge pipe, you know, because they know about the underground facilities, which means they know about the other homes that are rigged, and then probably, you know, maybe even the other crimes and murders and everything else. You know about the underground facilities, you know about you have evidence on multiple murders and hundreds and thousands of crimes. And so I wanted to show you that they're donating money, you know, and I saw this the other day. Normally I see oil companies, and I'm always thinking, oh, I bet that's an oil company that was at an oil show party, and they don't want, you know, they don't want people, you know, they don't want the public to find out that they had employees at a prostitution party where sex traffickers murdered some little girl that wouldn't prostitute, you know. This is a Facebook post yesterday, Midland police sneaking into homes and shooting homeowners. And you know, that's an incredible statement. But wait till you see the incredible evidence is the reason that I made that statement. And I was shot by surprise with burglar alarms going off, and after I fell to the ground, I found that my phone lines were cut, which forced me to crawl out. I was seen leaving at 10:42 p.m. on January 28, 2012. Keep that in mind, 10:42. At 11:01, my security cameras showed former Martin County Sheriff John Woodward arriving, who was followed by the late Midland Sheriff Deputy Mike Naylor. Their names were not on the police report, and their identity remained a secret for 6 years. The public doesn't even know that. Mike Naylor died in the line of duty, and they've kept that secret from the public. You know, they're hiding all this from the public. My front security cameras were then disabled at 11:22. Keep that in mind. And nobody else was seen arriving or entering my front door, but the long withheld police report, I just got it a few months ago, and remember this was from 7 years ago, shows that the MPD officers Davis, Dickey, Chatwell, Angel, and Hale were at or in my home before my cameras were disabled. They were not seen arriving or entering my door. Okay, that's very important. And that police report was subpoenaed, and it was withheld under subpoena. Lieutenant Dickey is said to be inside my home at 11:05 p.m. This told me they were under my home, and it was somebody under my home that shot me. And so obviously they come in the trap door that the ex-wife had told me about, and they were under this home. And very possibly it was cops that tried to murder me in my home, sneaked under my home and shot me. I had just reported a suspected tunnel to the El Paso and Midland DEA 2 weeks earlier, and a previous resident told me that him and his brother used to go in the tunnels under this home. The ex-wife told me in so many words that a lot of people were here, which I took to mean they were in the underground facility said to be near my home. By the way, the evidence logs will show that there was no booby traps, as this was another lie. And I wonder how many other homes they sneaked into, or how many other homeowners that didn't survive to tell the story. And, you know, and this is so important because, you know, just the allegation of a crime victim such as myself saying, hey, I've got proof that police were here, and nobody's investigating it, because, you know, you really want to ask how many other people have they murdered, you know. And this is from the police report. I turned it into an animated GIF file. And basically it's time stamped at 11:05, showing Dickey saying no one is in the house, booby traps, and that was a lie. Okay, but what the most important thing is, he's inside my house at 11:05, and my cameras wasn't disabled until 11:22. Okay, and he wasn't seen coming in the door, and so it looks like Dickey was under my house, and maybe Lieutenant Dickey, and that's a video there, is the one that tried to murder me in my home. And so I'm moving on here. Evidence found shows that I was unknowingly trapped a burglar in my guest bathroom that day before being shot, and it's suspected these corrupt police were connected with the burglary. By this day, I'd reported repeated burglaries to the police, the Texas Rangers, and the FBI, with my first report being over a year earlier. It's now suspected that this was going on before I moved here, as multiple people are documented as saying that tunnels, bunkers, are here on my property. Okay, and I got a video. Tie wire the door shut. I show the evidence found. And so it looks like a burglar was trapped, and very possibly these corrupt police were working with the burglars and the burglary and the theft of services, like as I talked about earlier. And then when I unknowingly trapped it, they decided to murder me. 2 weeks before I transferred into town, I bought this home. The young previous owner, Mike Lawson, dies. I'm told that he died by accident, but I've since found evidence that has convinced me that he was murdered, obviously by the same people who sneaked in my home and shot me. He died the week before the 2008 oil show started, which suggests that his murder were connected to the underground prostitution parties. I was told about a young girl being murdered at one of them in 2010, and that's in this video on my YouTube channel, Buddy Webb, suspected murder of Mike Lawson. And then the next one, the previous owner of my home, Mike Lawson, died at 27 years old, just a week before the 2008 oil show started, which seems important, as it's believed that the world-famous oil show prostitution parties were going on near here. In 2010, my friend told me about a young girl that was murdered at one of these parties when she refused to prostitute for the sex traffickers. That may have happened in the underground facility that looks like it's in my backyard. And so I didn't There we go. Okay. And this is the GIF file for the Google Maps, and I'm going to show you my home. We were out there in my backyard just a minute ago. Okay, and you can see when you go to Google Maps, and you can do that yourself, go to maps.google.com, put in my address, 3802 Fair Circle, and you're going to see this large facility that's in my backyard, okay? And you can't on the block map, but you can't see it on the sat map because it's not above ground. And I believe that's where that underground facility, that might be where the young girl was murdered. You know, maybe that gas is being fed under there. Maybe that's why they put this large gas line in. You also see that water well over here, and I was mentioning, that maybe that's what was supplying water. And I want to show you another one here. It'd be handy if I had it ready, but I don't. Okay, this is another Google Earth map. Okay. And what I want to show you here, okay, there's Home Depot, there's secluded truck unloading lane, it looks like a large ditch cut here, another large ditch cut over here, and a large parking lot in front of there. You can see my home. I was shot on this side of my home. And now Rhonda Denman Rogers says the underground facility is half block away. Well, half block away is a home on Westmont Court that had the same mortar problem that my home had here. And so I wondered if it wasn't tunneled under, and it's got a large place here, big yard over here, kind of like mine does, and they put a water well right there. There's a water well right here. There's a water well right there. So maybe that's 2 of the 4 underground homes, and maybe somebody at Atmos Energy knows about it, and maybe that's why they donated $5,000 to Midland Police Department, and so they'd cover up these multiple murders. Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas.